Have you ever been placed in a situation where at times you feel like stress has just overwhelmed you more than what you can express? Sometimes that stress leaves you breathless, leaves you with those sleepless nights, waking up 4, 5, 6 times a night, wondering if you're choking or if that's the saliva that you forgot to spit before you went to bed. If you're like me and other people, you like to brush your teeth often when you get out of the shower at night. And sometimes you wonder if, did I have sleep apnea? And was that saliva still in my mouth? But then you feel that chest tightness. You feel this gripping in your chest. And it hurts. And that pain causes you to feel like you're suffering. Maybe you're young, maybe you're old. But you get to a point where you just had enough of it. You wake up in the morning. You go to work. You go to school. Throughout the day, you can just feel what feels like panic and anxiety built into your chest. You can feel your hormones shifting. You can feel your mind racing. You start to get dizzy, nauseous. You think you're going to throw up. You can't comprehend how on earth this is happening to you. You can't tell anybody because it seems like nobody will understand. And those who do listen to you, they know themselves. And they're afraid to talk about it. In fact, you're making them anxious talking about it. You're putting them in a situation that may cause a more stressful event. It really hurts. That pain and anxiety. You're checking your watch. You're looking at your watch. Your heart rate says it's 150 beats a minute. You're in tachycardia. You're like, wow. I'm not anxious. I'm not anxious about anything. What is going on? Why do I feel like this? Why is the back of my head hurting? It's this tension. Is that pain I feel in my shoulder? Is that pain I feel in my arms? Why do I feel numb? Why do I feel like I'm about to pass out? My heart rate. Oh man, my heart rate's down to like 30s and 40s. Then it's shooting back up to 100. What is going on? Oh, that's when the panic sets in. The stress. You know it's coming, and you know it has been coming. Maybe it's because you were watching one of your favorite shows the night before. Maybe something triggered it. Maybe you're watching an episode of Dexter, and you're disappointed that they only made one more new season after the original seasons of Dexter. But something in that episode triggered you. Maybe you're watching Friends. If you're a millennial, you definitely were watching Friends. Maybe one of Joey's failed relationships made you feel down and out about yourself. You're just not good enough. You try to cope with that stress. You think that I don't have anything going on in life that could really interfere with me. Why are my emotions like this? I go to school, I go to work, I come home, take care of my family, take care of my pets. As you can see, I have dogs. I do my chores, do what I gotta do to get by. Maybe you drink, maybe you smoke, maybe you take drugs, maybe you smoke pot, who knows? You do whatever you gotta do to try to cope with that stress, but yet, it still catches up to you. You go through this cycle of repetitiveness, of sleepless nights. You're lucky to get 5 or 6 hours, and you get that one night like every 2 weeks, and you're just like, oh man, I slept for like 7 hours straight. This is amazing. and you feel good about yourself. You feel good about what's going on. You think that I'm overcoming this stress. You go to work, you go to school, maybe you're just sitting at home trying to get by, doing chores around the house. Maybe it's your day off. Maybe you're a homebody. Maybe you're a homemaker. You just keep feeling that tension in here. Feels like fluid. Feels like every time you take a deep breath, you're going to pass out. You can, maybe you go to counseling. I say a lot of maybes. The reality is this is for everybody. This is a discussion for everybody. This is something for everybody to listen to, because we all know what it is. Even children know what this is. Stress provokes fear. Stress provokes worry. Stress leads to wrinkles in the forehead, eyes to looking like they're squinting. Stress leads to anxious habits, overeating, self-indulging, unuseful mindfulness, as I like to call it, because instead of being productive mentally, you are now using your mind to do something that's not as productive. I'm going to avoid this. I'm going to take a nap. I just need a nap. Nap will make me feel good. 20 minutes, an hour, I'm good. I'm going to play my game on my phone. You know what? Everybody does it. I'm going to play my game. I'm going to do some artwork. I'm going to read. I'm going to write. You know what? Let me focus on that schoolwork. I got some assignments due. I got a project due for work that I need to get done. I need to go back and look at my books. Something was off. You try to take your mind off of it, but at the end of the day, that stress sits with you. Now in 2024, we have just about every application and device you can think of to help manage your sleep apnea, your stress level, your heart rate variability on these watches now, checking your blood pressure. You feel like a hypochondriac because you look at your heart rate more than anybody else would. But these devices, they show it. That's stress. Man, that's stress, and it hurts. It sucks. Stress will interfere with every part of you and who you are. It will rip your soul from you. It will make you feel like I cannot handle this. From personal experience, I know that stress can also cause flu-like symptoms. It can cause outbreaks, rashes. It can cause a fever. It can cause muscle pain and weakness. It can make you feel like you are absolutely dying, physically and mentally. But the stress does not have to be a part of you. I believe in counseling and therapy. I think mental health is extremely important. I believe in mindfulness. I believe in valuing your own mental health so that you can overcome some of these physical obstacles. Stress is definitely one of those. Even exercising can lead to stress. Too much aerobic exercise can cause stress. Too much pain on the body can cause stress. When I was in my late teens and early 20s, I did all natural bodybuilding. My personal experience with it, and I used to work out religiously. In fact, I was a personal trainer and coach, and I was doing automotive work, and I was working in kitchens at night, cooking. I did a lot of things, but I worked out religiously with my clients, on my own, with my friends. And I was playing sports. I got in my 30s. They tell you, some older people tell you, oh, the 30s are the best time of your life. And you're like, no. I haven't made it quite to my 40s yet, but I can tell you right now, the aches and the pains part of the stress. I've noticed I work out, but the intensity, it changes. And even the intensity can cause me to feel stress. I work out to relieve the stress, but yet you can still get the heart palpitations. Guess what? Stress triggers heart palpitations, and for those like myself who feel them, they suck. They're scary, they make you feel uncomfortable, and they cause more stress. Stress is ultimately a game changer. I often like to think about what it was like for the ancient people when they dealt with stress. You can read the Bible if you're a Christian. You can read the Torah if you're Muslim or Jewish, or you can read all kinds of theological and historical references that point to how people use mindfulness meditation. People even practice what we would call today modern yoga. People spent a lot of time in meditation and prayer. People also spent a lot of time in solitude. Maybe that's the best thing to help ease the stress, is solitude. But are you going to dig yourself in that hole? Because guess what? This chest pain, still there. You're watching Ross go through a horrible, horrible breakup with like his failed many relationships and friends. Or maybe you're watching Seinfeld and you realize, man, I can relate with these people. I get it. Why can't I just be a goofball like them? Or maybe you're even watching Breaking Bad. For those of us who like it, Breaking Bad was pretty intense. There was often times I'd watch an episode and I was stressed out about the situations going on. Maybe you're a hopeless romantic and your anxiety's built up because you've realized that there's another Princess Diaries coming out. Great, yay, joy. For those who like to watch that. I know some people personally who are very excited about that. But guess what? That can cause stress. You see one doggy, two doggies in my background here. I love them dearly. They are absolutely my whole world. And yes, even pets can cause stress. You know what I'm talking about. For those happy pet owners out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't judge people based on how they do things in life or in their life, but I do judge them based on how well they take care of themselves and handle situations that can become overwhelming, or how it affects themselves and other people. Stress, we all know, can lead to health complications. Physically, you can literally die from stress. And we all don't want to think that way, but we also want to think, how can I overcome the stress? I'm going to tell you, therapy does help. Cognitive behavioral therapy, probably one of the best approaches and techniques that are incorporated into counseling to help with managing stress. But there are other ones too, such as, if you're listening to this would be like narrative, because you're hearing me, my story. I'm sharing it with you. I'm sharing with you my own meaning and beliefs of how stress affects myself and possibly how it may affect you. That anxiety, that tension in here that leads to that depression, that leads to that feeling worthless, that leads to that I'm not good anymore. My spouse can't deal with these problems. I have problems. My spouse is frustrated. I live alone. My stress has made it so that I become such a homebody. I can't enjoy doing the simple things. I used to take road trips all the time. Why can't I do that anymore? Why am I scared? Oh, that fear and worry. It's a dangerous, dangerous place to be. Literally, stress is a topic that a lot of people like to avoid, but yet many people realize that they deal with it every day. Some of our baby boomers and older generations, that have outlived many of us, they dealt with stress in different ways. For example, my grandfather, he's pretty old. Older than most people, that's for sure. I'd say he's at the top of the 95 percentile in the oldest population that we have worldwide. He is up there, but the way he deals with stress is a lot different. He does puzzles, he takes naps, and I've watched him over the years. When things become too stressful, he'll displace himself from that situation. I've watched other older people like him when working with seniors that see that when they're overwhelmed by stress, the ones who navigate around it, they will remove themselves from that stressful situation. Many of them went through a lot harder times than we can even imagine. The wars, Vietnam, World War II, Korea, and now we have the most recent wars in the Middle East. Those people who dealt with that and are thriving in their old age, it's because they've learned how to navigate around that stress. What can we learn from the ancients? Because I consider them ancient, even though they're not. But because they use ancient techniques that we don't even think about. Stress does not cause immortality. It causes mortality. You want to better your stress, you may have to take a step away from some of the things that you think that you enjoy, that are part of your life. Maybe it means a career change. Maybe it means easing up on some of your schoolwork. Maybe it means taking an actual break for yourself. Not just going to the driving range and knocking some balls. Or taking a road trip to go see family. Maybe it takes more than that. It takes you being yourself. When was the last time that you felt like you were yourself? When was the last time that you felt like I am happy in the skin that I am in? This job does not have to feel like this. I used to enjoy this. I used to enjoy the people I work with and the clients that I have. I used to enjoy being around family. I used to enjoy taking my dogs for walks. I used to enjoy reading and writing. I used to enjoy playing my guitar and singing. Oh, the little perks in life. Just that alone. Take that deep breath. We all know that one of the best mindfulness techniques that you can do is breathe in through your nose, hold it for a couple seconds, and then let out through your mouth. Do that several times. Just and out. Good. And out. Good. Don't need to look at your heart rate. Your heart rate's good. Because if you made it this far into this podcast video, this recording, you know that this guy knows what I'm talking about. This guy, Nick, he really knows what I'm talking about. He gets it. He gets me. Don't matter how young or how old you are. The thing called stress sucks. We know that. But take yourself to that happy place. I'm going to describe my happy place, and maybe you can relate with that. Let's take our mind away from that stress for just a moment. That stress doesn't have to be in this place. Just close your eyes for a moment if you can. If you're driving, just listen. Just listen to the waves crash over. sound of the ocean, the breeze, that roar of the ocean pounding onto the shores, occasionally a seagull off in the distance making a noise. You can smell the salty air. You can taste the bitterness in the air, the dryness from the salt water sprays that are coming up on shore. You can feel your toes. The top of the sand is hot. As you dig your toes down a few inches, it's nice and cool. You pick up the sand, put it between your hands, and let it run through your hands, and you can feel the granules. Oh, how this feels so good. It's relaxing. And just breathe. For a moment, imagine that none of this exists. You are in this moment, and that's where you're going to stay, and that's where you're going to be. For that moment, you don't have that stress. Just as much as I love the beach, I love the mountain air, and even the sounds of the city. It can be harmonic. You go to the mountains and you smell the dew on the leaves. You can smell the wild onions. You can feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. You can feel nature calling you. And in the city you hear the sounds, the bustle and hustle of all the people, the noises, the horns honking, but yet you feel at home. And you feel at home because that stress is not you. This world does not have to be a part of you. Stress does not have to be a part of you. Back to reality. Stress is real. How are you going to handle the problems that you have? I'm going to tell you right now. You are, you can, and you will. Having that self-assurance may not come from yourself, but maybe it helps to have it coming from someone else. Maybe you know me, maybe you don't. But hearing it gives you that assurance and confidence that you need to overcome that stress. You can do this, and you can make a difference in your life. You may have to make some harsh decisions, but I definitely recommend thinking about it, writing it down, and don't just make a rash decision, but you may need to make that change that you don't want to. Because stress, this needs to stop, and it needs to ease off, because you want to live a good life, and you deserve to. We deserve to, for those who are not here living for us. We deserve to live that good life. Be human. And if you're a believer in whatever you believe, for me, I'm a Christian, but I do not judge other people for what they believe, or if they don't believe in anything. But find your place, your medium in this universe, your place that takes you away from that stress. But know that stress is real, and it's going to come back. And it's going to come back with a vengeance, and it's going to fight hard. But you got to be humble, be at peace with yourself, and know that you will overcome this. If no one else has faith in you and you don't have faith in yourself, I have faith in you. Stress does not have to be you. You are strong, you are confident in yourself, and you are confident in your ability to overcome that stress.